In the late 1980s, as Otto Shankar's infamy continued to grow, the city of Madras found itself shrouded in fear and uncertainty. 9 young girls had mysteriously disappeared, leaving their families in a state of anguish and desperation. These girls had seemingly vanished without a trace, and their families were left with no answers. In a city where crime, corruption, and political influence were deeply intertwined, seeking justice for the missing girls would prove to be a daunting challenge. As the families of the missing girls grappled with their despair, the authorities remained largely unresponsive. The police seemed indifferent to their plight, dismissing their reports and suggesting that the girls had run away of their own accord. It was a time when the powerful could act with impunity, and the voiceless were left to suffer in silence. However, the family's unwavering determination to find their missing daughters led them to a pivotal moment. In 1988, they approached PC Alexander, the governor of Tamil Nadu, with their heart-wrenching story. They pleaded for his intervention, hoping that he could bring an end to their agonizing search for answers. Governor Alexander, deeply moved by their plight, took their concerns seriously and initiated a response that would set in motion a series of events that would ultimately expose the dark underbelly of the city. Governor Alexander ordered the creation of a special investigative team tasked with unraveling the mystery of the missing girls. For the first time, the police felt the pressure to act decisively and find those responsible for their disappearance. Some honest officers within the force began to suspect the involvement of a notorious criminal known as Gowri Shankar. However, bringing him to justice would prove to be a formidable challenge given his connections within the police and political circle. It was at this juncture that a police constable named R, Armed Reserve, entered the scene. R possessed an extensive knowledge of Shankar's criminal history and was well versed in the intricacies of the criminal network operating in the city. His involvement would prove to be pivotal in the unfolding drama of crime, corruption, and revenge. R was tasked with infiltrating the criminal network and gathering critical information about Otto Shankar. His contributions were invaluable, providing the police with crucial insights into the operations of Shankar's gang and their connections. Armed with this newfound information, the police were able to begin apprehending Shankar's associates one by one, starting with his own brother, Mohan. As the news tightened around Shankar's criminal empire, the truth about his reign of terror began to emerge. It was revealed that he had not only been involved in the abduction and murder of the missing girls, but had also established a network of corruption that reached into the highest echelons of the police force and political leadership. One of Shankar's associates, Eldin, who had been apprehended by the police, faced a stark choice: become a government witness and reveal the full extent of Shankar's crimes or face dire consequences. Eldin chose to cooperate with the authorities, providing them with a detailed account of Shankar's criminal activities, including the gruesome method by which he disposed of his victim's body. Shankar's modus operandi was horrifying. He would burn the bodies of his victims after their murders and then discard the remains in the Bay of Bengal, ensuring that they would never be found. Eldin's revelations shed light on the chilling details of the crimes committed by Shankar and his gang. With Eldin's confession and the mounting evidence against Shankar, the police continued to build their case. The discovery of a diary in Shankar's possession added another layer of complexity to the investigation. The diary contained a list of names, many of them belonging to police officers and politicians, along with details of payments, suggesting a widespread network of corruption. The revelation of these high-level connections sent shockwaves through the political circles of Tamil Nadu. While some lower-ranking officers were suspended, the higher-ups appeared to escape unscathed, despite their names being cited in connection with Shankar's criminal enterprise. The case exposed the depth of corruption that had infiltrated the very institutions tasked with upholding the law. Despite the controversy and political turmoil, the police remained steadfast in their pursuit of justice. The investigation extended to the courts, where some high-ranking officers were named, signaling a commitment to holding those responsible accountable regardless of their status. The story of Otto Shankar's crimes had not only shaken the foundations of the city, but also exposed the dark underbelly of urban life, where crime, corruption, and political influence intersected to devastating effect. It was a stark reminder that sometimes the pursuit of justice requires unwavering determination and the courage to confront those who abuse their power. As the investigation into Otto Shankar and his gang continued, it became clear that the missing girls were just the tip of the iceberg. The revelations about the extent of corruption and criminality shocked the conscience of the city, leading to a public outcry for justice. In the late 1980s, the case against Otto Shankar and his gang finally went to trial. They were charged with the murders of Lalitha, Sudale, Sampath, Mohan, Govindaraj, and Ravi, among others. Shankar, in a chilling confession, revealed the gruesome details of his crimes, admitting to the deaths of the missing girls whose bodies had never been found. The trial was a pivotal moment in the pursuit of justice. The evidence against Shankar and his gang was overwhelming, and the public demanded that they be held accountable for their heinous action. The court proceedings were closely followed by the media and the people of Tamil Nadu, who sought closure for the families of the victims. On May 31st, 1991, the court delivered its verdict. Otto Shankar, along with his accomplices Eldon and Shivaji, was sentenced to death for their crimes. Other members of Shankar's gang received varying sentences, with some sentenced to 6 years in prison and others, including Shankar's brother Mohan, receiving life imprisonment. However, the legal battle was far from over. The case was taken to the High Court and then to the Supreme Court, as Shankar and his gang continued to appeal their sentences. The public outrage and media scrutiny surrounding the case led to swift decisions from the judiciary. Despite the appeals and pleas for clemency, the President of India at the time, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, was resolute. He was appalled by the heinous crimes committed by Shankar and his gang and refused to grant them mercy. With the mercy petition denied, the death penalty was confirmed. On April 27, 1995, Otto Shankar's reign of terror came to a dramatic and final end when he was hanged. His execution sent shockwaves through Tamil Nadu and marked the conclusion of a chilling chapter in the city's history. Interestingly, despite his gruesome crimes, Shankar was seen as a good person by some in his neighborhood, highlighting the complexity of human perception. His name continued to inspire fear in Tamil Nadu, and films were made about his life, immortalizing his dark legacy. In the end, the story of Otto Shankar serves as a chilling reminder of the dark depths to which crime, corruption, and manipulation can lead. It is a tale of resilience, where the relentless pursuit of justice by the families of the victims ultimately brought a serial killer to justice and exposed a web of corruption that had plagued the city for far too long. As the city of Chennai moved forward, it carried with it the lessons learned from the harrowing saga of Otto Shankar, a man whose name would forever be associated with fear and whose crimes would leave an indelible mark on the pages of history.